I like investing for cash flow, and what cash flow means is now I get paid for owning an asset as opposed to selling an asset for a profit. So let me diagram what this looks like for you, because there's a number of different assets that can pay you with this type of cash flow. So now let's imagine you went out and you invested in this box. Most traditional investments will say something along the lines of your goal is to buy this for $100 and then sell it for, I don't know, $1,000, which would be actually a great investment. But if you can do that, well, now you don't make any money until you ultimately sell. And once you sell, you no longer own this asset. But what I like to do with most of my investments, not all of them, but most of my investments, is I want to buy this asset. And now instead of focusing on the sales side, because, well, it could take years or decades for me to see the growth that I want to start getting some cash just for owning this. So now, whether this goes up to $1,000 or down to $50, I want to keep getting a little bit of money into my pocket, whether it's every month, every quarter, or every year, just for owning this asset. Now the question is, what can this asset be? One option is dividend-paying stocks. This is now where you're going out and you're investing in companies that pay out a little bit of cash flow, generally quarterly, meaning every 3 months, for you doing nothing except owning that stock. Now, not every company pays out these types of dividends, but some companies do. Another example of this would be you going out and investing in physical real estate. Now, this one takes more money, this one takes more time, and this one takes more effort. But if you go out and you buy a property, you can rent it out to somebody else. And if we do it correctly, that person who is now living in your property will be paying you rent. And this rent, if you do it properly, should cover your property taxes, your insurance, your maintenance, your management fees, and any vacancy costs you have, plus any debt, and then put a little bit of money into your pocket every single month. So now I'm working to buy these types of assets that will pay me a little bit of money every month, because then my game becomes, how can I stack this cash flow? How can I buy more of these assets that buy more of this cash flow? Now, if you're thinking, but Jaspreet, I don't have $100,000 to go out and buy rental properties. That's okay. You don't have to. If you want to go out and buy rental properties, fine. You're going to need money, and that's something you want to start saving for. That way you can then build the cash to go out and buy a rental property. But if you're not interested in going out and investing in real estate, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to invest in real estate to go out and make money. Although you do see some people on the internet talking about how you have to buy real estate if you want to build wealth. It doesn't work like that. You have some people that have become incredibly wealthy without ever touching real estate. You have some people that have become incredibly wealthy without ever touching stocks. You just got to find what's right for you. I invest in stocks, but I also invest in real estate. So now, if you don't want to go out and invest in real estate, or if you don't have the funds to go out and invest in real estate, what are the alternatives? Well, if you still want to stay involved in real estate, there are some real estate funds on the internet that you can consider investing in. However, if that's not interesting to you too, you can look at, again, stocks. Because you can start investing in stocks with as little as $10. And so now, if your goal is to just generate cash flow, you could potentially create a system where now you take whatever amount of money that you want, and then every week you create an automatic system. This money gets automatically invested out of your checking account, it gets pulled, and then it gets into a portfolio of your dividend-paying stocks, your dividend-paying ETFs, your dividend-paying index funds, your dividend-paying mutual funds. It does not matter. And now you're just working to keep stacking the cash flow. For me, I have a system where every Wednesday I have cash that leaves my checking account, and I picked Wednesday just because it's in the middle of the week. I have no secret sauce as to why. But every Wednesday, cash leaves my checking account and it goes into my portfolio of ETFs. Now, an ETF is a fund. So instead of me going out and investing in an individual company, which I do as well, it's a different strategy. I'm not talking about that right now. But an ETF now is where if you invest in this one fund, you can get exposure to hundreds of stocks. For example, just an example, I'm not telling you what to invest in. If you invested in the ETF SPY, this one ETF will give you exposure to the S&P 500, which is a group of the 500 largest companies in the stock market. So you have ETFs that give you exposure to things like the S&P 500. You'll have some ETFs that give you exposure to the entire stock market. You'll have some ETFs that will give you exposure to dividend-paying companies. You'll have some ETFs that will give you exposure to healthcare companies. You'll have some ETFs that will give you exposure to healthcare companies, and on and on and on and on and on. So for me, I have ETFs that I invest in just primarily for their dividends. So now, every Wednesday, cash leaves my checking account. It goes into this portfolio, some of these which are primarily dividend focused. And now these dividend paying ETFs will pay me with money. Now, when I get paid this money, I don't go and take it and spend this money. I use this money to reinvest back into here to buy even more cash flow producing assets. So every week, I'm taking some money and I'm putting it here to buy some of these assets. Then as these assets pay me, I use them to buy more assets. So I'm building this machine to create new incomes because my goal is to stack the cash flow. And then eventually, when I'm ready, I can start using this cash flow to fund other things in my life. Because, well, the goal is to be able to live your lifestyle based off of your cash flow instead of the income that you're working to earn. Because when you keep using your income to fund your lifestyle, you're never going to have a chance to actually become truly wealthy, because wealthy people want to live off of their assets, not their income. Now, of course, if your assets are paying you an income, that's completely different. I'm talking about the income that you're working to earn from your job or even your salary from your own business. You want to be able to live off of the income from your assets, the income that you don't have to work to earn, because that income will keep paying you even when you're not working, and that's what wealthy people are working for. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you gotta do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.